Hey! Hi! How you doing? This is Ryan, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Taste. Personal preference. Those things that we love and appreciate, but everyone else just can't understand why, or can't relate. Not to be confused with guilty pleasures, mind you. With a guilty pleasure, we're all aware that the particular whatever in question is lacking in certain qualities, that they possess undeniable flaws. But we love and appreciate and enjoy these things despite them. But then there are certain stories, books, movies, television shows, and of course, video games, where the masses just can't find a common ground, leading to a piece of media that is beloved to some, but reviled by others. And when it specifically comes to gaming, my oh my, this discourse. It's a bloody battlefield online. Look no further than some of the most popular multiplayer video games in the world, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, and Fortnite. These franchises are objectively, provably successful and popular, and yet despite that, there are several who would argue, vehemently, that these games are somehow of a poor quality, that their flaws outweigh their merits. Now, if you play a variety of video games and follow the online gaming community discourse, there's no doubt that you've accumulated a fair share of video games that you personally love and adore, you have a blast playing them, but then you go online and you find that hundreds, if not thousands of people passionately despise these games that you enjoy, and you just can't understand why. Unfortunately, for me personally, many of my favorite video games of all time find themselves in this dilemma. And that's what I want to talk about and share with you all in this video. 3 video games that I personally love, but the rest of the internet fucking hates. And it baffles me as to why, because I will argue to hell and back, I will die on this hill, that all 3 of these games are good games, well-made games, that they are objectively quality products and pieces of art. But before we get into our 3 main stars of the show, a couple honorable mentions. First up, Dead Space 3. The Dead Space trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies, one of my favorite video game franchises in all of gaming. I love Dead Space, I love all 3 games. However, Dead Space 3 is easily the most controversial and divisive title in the original Dead Space trilogy. There are some who hate everything about this game, while others were just really turned off by the weapon crafting system tied to microtransactions. However, despite those that passionately dislike this game, the numbers don't lie. Statistically, overall, more people like Dead Space 3 than hate it. It's just those who hate it really fucking hate it. For me, I love Dead Space 3, I love all the Dead Space games. I always immensely enjoy playing any Dead Space game. Second honorable mention, Gears of War 5. Like Dead Space 3, statistics-wise, more people like Gears 5 than dislike it. However, those who don't like the game really fucking don't like the game. You don't have to go far to find folks that proclaim that Gears 5 killed the Gears of War franchise, even though Gears 5 sold well and had mostly positive reviews at launch. Personally, I really like the Gears of War games, in particular 4 and 5. I just find the third-person shooting gameplay of both those games to just be so much fun, and their horde modes, oh my god, they're so addicting. So yeah, Dead Space 3 and Gears 5 are my honorable mentions, not because the internet overall hates these games, but the people who don't like them really don't like them. Thought it would be fun to bring up and add some nice contrast to the actual 3 games that are the primary focus of this video. Let's begin with one of my favorite video games of all time. It's in my top 25 favorites, I love it that much. Evolve. I will never understand why Evolve, out of all the games that released in 2015, was picked to be the internet's punching bag. And to this day, everyone and their mother still claims that what killed Evolve was its monetization, its microtransactions, its greedy business practices, that they were just so egregious that it doomed the game. They went too far and gamers weren't gonna take it. Bruh. You serious? Evolve's cosmetic skin packs crossed the line and earned the ire of gamers, but Call of Duty Black Ops 3, with its loot boxes, were fine, Mortal Kombat X, with all of its DLC and selling easy fatalities, was fine. Dead or Alive 5, with its over $1,000 worth of DLC, was fine. And Halo 5 Guardians Rec Packs, its loot boxes, were fine. But Evolve had the most egregious monetization out of all the video games in 2015. This is why I fucking hate gamers, man. You motherfuckers raked Evolve over the coals, dissuaded so many people from buying and trying out the game because of its monetization, but all these other games that had objectively, no, this is inarguable, had objectively worse monetization business practices than Evolve did not get the same level of backlash and ire as Evolve did. The hypocrisy is sickening. And now, today, we have so many video games, some of the most popular video games of all time, that have far, far more egregious monetization and business practices than Evolve ever did. This would be hilarious if it wasn't so tragic. Oh, man. And then there was all the misinformation and blatant lies spread about the game. Such bullshit including that the game had only one game mode, when it actually has multiple different game modes. It's just that everyone only played Hunt for some reason. Oh, then there was the lie that the game had no story, when Evolve actually has a deep wealth of lore and backstory. We're talking about the kind of world building that people obsess over nowadays with From Software titles, the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, Destiny, and Halo. You get the idea. Evolve's deep lore and world building is so underrated. All of the different playable hunter characters were so well developed and creatively designed, bursting at the seams with creativity and personality. When it comes to the actual gameplay and content of Evolve, there's a lot of contradictory takes online. But from my research and my own personal experiences, the sentiment appears to be mostly negative. In particular, there seems to be a sizable amount of people online who just hate video game developer Turtle Rock in general, and we'll get more into that later. But when it comes to me, myself, I love Evolve. It is one of my favorite video games of all time. It is a dream, a fantasy come true. Whether it's living out the fantasy of tracking, hunting, and fighting giant alien monsters as an alien monster hunter, or what I adore the most, the experience of being able to play as a giant alien monster and wreak havoc. I love playing as a monster in Evolve so goddamn much. It is so much goddamn fun, whether it's playing as Goliath, Kraken, Wraith, Behemoth, or Gorgon. Their creature designs and their animations are awe-inspiring. Gameplay-wise, they are so well designed. The way all of their abilities seamlessly combo together and off of one another. Whether it's more casual play or hardcore, high-level monster play, playing as a monster in Evolve is just a one-of-a-kind experience, and I've yet to play another video game that has replicated the feeling of playing as a monster in Evolve. But while I cherish the monster gameplay, the hunter gameplay, the first-person shooter gameplay, is also so damn good, incredibly solid. The way each and every hunter plays completely differently from one another with their unique weapons, abilities, and gadgets. How they synergize with one another and play into their roles as assault classes, support classes, medic classes, and tracker classes, and how they all bring their own unique take and spin and flavor to the role. And of course, most importantly, what with this being a first-person shooter, the weapons, the guns, they all look and feel fantastic. We've got assault rifles, laser guns, shotguns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, the whole lot. I truly cannot understand. It bewilders me how someone could play Evolve, experience this first-person shooting, or experience the third-person action combat of monster gameplay and just not enjoy, not have fun playing Evolve. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute. One last thing about Evolve before I move on. I find it funny that Evolve has technically died multiple times over the course of nearly a decade now. But here's the thing. Evolve can never truly die. Yes, it is impossible to get a new version, new copy of Evolve right now, even its free-to-play Stage 2 version, but as long as you purchased Evolved and own Evolved back in 2015, as long as Evolve is still in your Steam library, you can play it offline single-player. Yes, Evolve has an offline single-player mode, which no one talks about. People only look at Evolve as a multiplayer-only game when it has fully functional offline single-player bot support. All the gameplay clips of Evolve that you've been watching throughout this video are clips that I recently recorded just for this video playing offline single-player. When so many other multiplayer-only or multiplayer-focused games die, get shut down, and become unplayable, Evolve is still here, still standing, still playable, because developer Turtle Rock Studios implemented honest-to-goodness offline single-player bot support, something that is unfortunately a rarity nowadays with our multiplayer-focused video games. Look, I'm gonna be straight with all of you, totally honest here. I am a legitimate fan of Turtle Rock Studios. I like their body of work. I enjoy their games. I deeply appreciate how they genuinely listen to community feedback and then implement said community feedback into their games. Even though publisher 2K did everything in their power to fuck over Evolve, Turtle Rock did their damnedest to do what they could for the Evolve community post-launch, whether it was in Legacy Evolve or the free-to-play Evolve Stage 2. Actions speak louder than words, and with Turtle Rock's actions, they have proven to me time and time again that they are a pro-consumer video game developer. So it boggles my mind why so many people on the internet fucking hate Turtle Rock. They despise Turtle Rock. One could even say that the gaming community is out for blood when it comes to Turtle Rock. I can think of no greater example than the next game featured in this video. One of my favorite games of the year 2021. It was in my top 10. A game that, yes, I'm about to really say this and put this out onto the internet, a game that I like more than Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood. Yes, indeed, I am your nightmare made flesh. I prefer Back 4 Blood over Left 4 Dead. I would even go as so far as to argue that Back 4 Blood is an upgrade and improvement to Left 4 Dead in just about every single way. You never imagined a person like me could exist, yet here I am. Anyways, funny business aside, let's get serious for a moment here. The hatred, the disdain towards Back 4 Blood is quite frankly completely unwarranted. Even worse so are all of the lies. The misinformation surrounding Evolve was bad, but it was nothing compared to the campaign of pure misinformation that the internet launched against Back 4 Blood. There are still thousands of people to this very day that believe Back 4 Blood was a live service with microtransactions. I cannot stress this enough. Back 4 Blood is not a live service. It was never a live service. It was never advertised as a live service. You can find nowhere on the store pages, in the game trailers, in the interviews with developers, that Back 4 Blood was ever meant to be or going to be a live service. Back 4 Blood is objectively, factually, not a live service and never was. But this lie continues to perpetuate, and I see big, massive content creators spreading this lie. It's fucking wild. The internet just decided Back 4 Blood is a live service, even though it's not, and it never was. This whole fucking scandal is a video essay expose in and of itself. If no one ever ends up making that video, I might just have to do it myself. But then there is the lie that the game contains microtransactions. People were lying that Back 4 Blood was going to have microtransactions before the game even launched when they heard about the card system and assumed, oh, they're going to sell card packs, it's going to be pay to win. Even though there was no evidence of that at all, whatsoever. And to the people who still unironically believe this for some reason, go to the Steam store page. Where are the microtransactions? All I see are the different editions and the expansions. Where are the microtransactions? Where are they? Oh, that's right! They don't exist! They never did! The internet, before Back 4 Blood even released, had a vendetta against this game, convinced that this game was going to be, and still is, anti-consumer, when in reality, it's just a really basic, standard, classical video game release. You have the base game, you have a couple different editions, and you have the DLC expansions, and that's it. It's surprisingly very old school in this method of delivery. So yeah, I'm not really a big fan of how the internet has treated Back 4 Blood and developer Turtle Rock Studios. I'm not saying you have to like Back 4 Blood. If you played the game and you didn't find it fun to play, that's perfectly fine. People like different things for different reasons, personal taste, personal preferences. Not everyone is going to like and enjoy every video game. No duh. But the constant lying and the propagation of said lies? There's no way to sugarcoat this. It's really despicable. The treatment of developer Turtle Rock Studios and their game Back 4 Blood by the gaming community, by the Left 4 Dead community in particular, and various online content creators, has been, to put it plainly, morally wrong. As the kids would say, this is one of the biggest L's in video game community history. Quite frankly, you folks owe Turtle Rock Studios an apology. I have never seen a video game developer receive this much hate for literally doing nothing wrong and just existing. It's pretty fucked up. Anyways, as for the actual video game itself in question, Back 4 Blood, I just really like the gameplay and visuals. 3 main aspects of the game really stand out to me personally. Number 1, the build crafting. Honestly, the fucking character build potential rivals that of several looter shooters and RPGs. The amount of statistics, augments, modifiers, upgrades, and variables that you can tweak using the game's deck building card system is staggering. We got various weapon-specific builds, kind of class roleplay builds, DPS builds, support builds, and oh my god, the melee builds. The melee builds in this game are insane! I greatly enjoy the build crafting in Back 4 Blood. It makes every run new, fresh, and exciting, and it gives me near endless options to replay the game and experience the gameplay in a whole new way. Next, there's the weapons. The guns. I just love the way Turtle Rock designs guns in their games. They're packed with detail, the reload animations are so fucking sexy, and they just feel great to shoot and kill zombies with. Ah yes. Lastly, that brings us to the zombies, or in this case, the ridden. I will never understand how people prefer the infected from Left 4 Dead over the ridden from Back 4 Blood. The ridden are just so much cooler. Where I would argue the infected from Left 4 Dead are so boring and generic, the ridden from Back 4 Blood are so creative and inspired. With the obvious homages to classic body horror found in beloved films like John Carpenter's The Thing, or video games such as Dead Space. These are the kind of creature and monster designs I play video games for, to set my imagination ablaze. I love how with some of the special ridden, namely the tall boys, the wretches, and the ogres, you can tell that these are multiple human beings twisted and contorted into one another, with the multiple faces and various limbs sticking out here and there. It's all nightmare fuel, and I love it. Look, in the end, I can understand someone not enjoying Back 4 Blood. First-person shooters are a fickle thing, and we all have our favorites. If you prefer Left 4 Dead over Back 4 Blood, good for you. I'm the opposite. However, the hatred, the disdain, the outright malice directed towards Back 4 Blood and its developer Turtle Rock Studios is both deeply disturbing and completely unacceptable. Let Back 4 Blood serve as an example that the customer is not always right, and that unfortunately, the stereotype that gamers take things too seriously and take them way too far does have a basis in truth. At last, we come to the final video game in this video that I love, but the rest of the internet seems to hate. Now, with this one, there's nothing as dramatic as what was going on with video game developer Turtle Rock Studios. No real misinformation campaign, no real egregious lies, it's just a case of people just don't like this game, and I can't understand why. It doesn't make sense to me. Specifically, I'm talking about what was yet another one of my favorite video games of the year 2021, my second favorite video game of 2021 as a matter of fact. Outriders. I don't understand how people think this game is bad. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense to me. People say the graphics of Outriders are bad, but I'm running this game at high settings, looking at these environments, this lighting, these particle effects, these character models, all the detailed textures, and I wonder to myself, how does this look bad to you? Then there are people who say that the gameplay is bad and that's no fun at all, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're crazy. Weapons feel fantastic, they're impactful, they're powerful, tied together with the blood and gore and dismemberment of enemies when you shoot them. Especially with shotguns. Oh my god, the way shotguns tear enemies apart is so satisfying. Then we have all the different abilities and powers tied to all the different classes, and they're visually spectacular and meaningfully effective gameplay-wise. And then there's the build crafting. Oh my god, the build crafting. Outriders has some of, if not the best, build customization in any looter shooter ever. It certainly blows Destiny out of the water. It gives Borderlands and Warframe even a run for its money. Outriders just does so much to nail the fundamentals, the most important aspects of what you want from a looter shooter. Compelling, meaningful loot, customization, and progression. And then there are the people that say that Outriders has a bad story, that it has bad writing, and that it has bad voice acting. How? I don't understand how anyone could come to these conclusions, or have these opinions or perspectives. How? You people are insane! If you think Outriders has bad storytelling, writing, and voice acting, then what the fuck is good to you? The quality of the narrative, in all of its forms and aspects, are on par with Naughty Dog and BioWare in their respective primes. We've got deep, fleshed out characters, a mountainous amount of world building and lore. We've got various compelling themes and plot twists. We got a new, creative, inspired, grim, dark fantasy universe, which I would argue, quite obviously, had a great deal of love and passion put into bringing this story to life. Look, Outriders to me comes off and feels like a passion project. A game that developer People Can Fly really wanted to make, and a story that they really wanted to tell. I love Outriders, and I have no shame in sharing that. Outriders is not a guilty pleasure for me. I don't think the game has done anything wrong. I don't understand the people that dislike it. I don't understand the people that say everything about it is bad. I don't understand you people. Because here's the thing. I've played objectively bad, poorly made video games. So when people say that they don't like Outriders and that they think it's bad, I can't help but ask, have you ever played an actually, objectively bad, poorly made video game before? Play Ride to Hell Retribution, and then come back to me and tell me if you still think Outriders is a bad video game. So yeah, I love Outriders. For me, the game is just a joy to play. It is easily one of, if not my favorite, looter shooter, and I would argue to be one of, if not the best, looter shooter. Yeah, I will never understand why the internet doesn't like Outriders. It will never make sense to me. People are weird, man. They're crazy. Or maybe I'm the crazy one. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are some of your favorite video games that you love, but the internet hates? And what do you think of my personal favorite video games that I love that the internet hates? Share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd love to read them. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, maybe a few Discord servers. And if you want to help out and support me directly, please consider making a donation via the Super Thanks feature here on YouTube, or by clicking on the links and donating via my Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi pages, links in the description down below. Anyways, one last time, that's been a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.